Jonathan Helser, like the guy who wrote No Longer Slaves, right? One of the things that he says, spontaneous is a reward for preparation. Like when you prepare so well, so like last week I was with Roy, I was just talking to him about this. So it's like, take the example of cooking, right? If you don't know how to cook, you're literally so stuck to the recipe. You're like, okay, half spoon of this and all. But when you're like so familiar with cooking, you can play around with it. You don't have to like do all these things. And that is what we're doing. When we're so prepared with our set, when we're so prepared with our instruments, when we're so prepared with our songs and all that stuff, right? Then we have so much room to play around with. We have so much of free flow and all these things that can happen. But it's a reward for our preparation. Because if we're not prepared, as soon as we go spontaneously, or if we go somewhere, everyone's like, oh, what do I do? I'm not prepared to do this. Like, what do I do now? What do I play? What do I sing? Like, I don't know. Yeah, like the tension of that thing comes because preparation was not so good where we can have the reward of spontaneity. Go back to that analogy of cooking. I want to be so prepared with my ingredients that I'll just taste something. I'm like, oh, it needs some more salt. I'm going to just add, like, yeah, the recipe does not say whatever, but I just know that this moment requires this thing. So one of the biggest thing that we can do is to prepare what we can. But one of the best terminologies that I heard for this thing is relational worship. Okay, so basically this is flowing out from a relationship that you have with Jesus. Recently I came across an Instagram post also was talking about it. Like spontaneous worship is not the time for the worship leader to show how they can like sing and make up songs. That is not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to love Jesus and let him love you and let him love the community. Okay, like a very everyday example, right? The way I see this relational worship thing, you want to give a card to somebody. Because a card, like a greeting card, a birthday card, whatever, right? You want to give a card to somebody because you really want to appreciate them or thank them or wish them happy birthday, whatever else you want to do. So what you're doing, you're going to go to the store. You're just not going to pick up the first card that you see and then you're not going to do that, right? You'll go to the store, you'll look for, oh, what card do I like? What card do you think they would like? And then you open the card, you read the words in that. And it's like, oh, you didn't write those words. Somebody somewhere designed the card, somebody wrote those words. You're like reading these words, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, this is very similar to what I want to say to this person. So then you pick that card, right? Okay, now relate that to what we do with that. We're picking a set list. I want to sing my love to Jesus or whatever. You'll go through all these songs. You're picking, oh, okay, this song. Like, oh, Reckless Love. Okay, these words are really in line with what I want to sing to Jesus. And then you pick that song. So what happens after that? You don't just buy the card, and sometimes you'll just write from Blessy to whoever, right? And you just give it to them. And that's wonderful. That's perfectly fine. Is that wrong? No. Obviously, you took the effort to go to the store. You took the effort to look through the 10,000 cards that they had, and you actually picked the one that relates the most to you with the design, with everything else, with all those things. And then you bought the card with the money that you have, and you wrote your name and all. You give it to them. But there are people that you want to write more than two from Blessy or whatever. There's like this empty space on that card where you're like writing, yes, this is there. Whatever they wrote on this is there, but you're writing your thing because this is wonderful, you completely agree with it, but there's so much more that you want to communicate to this person. That is why is this happening? Because you have that relationship with that person. Because the deeper the relationship, the more you have to write with this. You know? And sometimes people don't even want to buy a card. They would just make a card. And that is like writing songs. That is like coming together. Like, you know what? I'm going to create a card for you. I'm not going to go to the store and buy. I'm going to just buy raw materials and I'm just going to like literally draw something for you. You know, create everything. Why is that? Because like all of this, so I'm not saying that not everybody is good in, I'm not that great. Abdullah is so much better in like writing and creating cards. I'm good in writing on the empty side of the card. You know, not everybody is good with doing everything, but finding what you're good at and trying to improve that.